Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. Hope you guys are all having a great morning. It is pretty early as I'm recording it right now. The sun is trying to come up, so it's an early Tuesday morning for us. I got a lot to do. I got to go take out some of my county assessor signs. I'm running for local county assessor, as well as I have to do some court stuff today. So we're excited. It's going to be a good, busy day. So got to get ready. So got to do my Pilates. If any of you guys do the Pilates stuff, let me know what you think. I really enjoy it. I finished the insanity workout program, the 60-day insanity program, a couple months ago, about a month and a half ago. So now I'm doing Pilates as more of a fine tuning stuff. But yeah, let me know if you guys do any of that. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. Molly. As you can see, you're here with Jane and Molly today. Molly decided right now is the time to groom while she's on camera. Roxy's behind the camera doing her thing, and you are here on April 1st over at Blue Box 29 in our green room. It's our Folklore and Flourish room. The white room is being used for, well, I call it the white room, the healing room, the QHHT room for Mark's sessions, as well as he's making a documentary for himself and us, as well as people who are interested in doing QHHT or becoming practitioners, all that fun stuff. So he's going through the process right now, making a documentary. I'm so excited for him. I think we're probably going to do another session with me hopefully this weekend. We almost did last night accidentally. Yeah. So when you start doing it so many times, I feel like it truly is easier to slip into that deep meditative state. But today, and the reason why I'm even talking about that is because today is all about the healing. So I really wished that Mark could be here for this episode, but he has all of this stuff that he's doing right now, and he's actually practicing the healing. Yes, I know a lot of Folklore and Flourish is talking about how we make it day to day, little bit of discussion of what the stories mean and what our ancient lessons were trying to teach us and why we've forgotten them sometimes. But Mark's out there actually doing some of these practices. So QHHT may be a new technique done by Dolores Cannon, but it's an ancient practice. These deep meditative states, this deep hypnosis, these are ancient practices. This isn't brand new. We're just relearning it. And obviously, I'm nerding out because I'm so excited. My partner gets to be a part of that and he wants to be a part of it. So, yeah, Mark, if you're watching this, I love you and I hope you're doing great today. And I hope that you're getting a lot of healing in for others. But for all of the rest of you that are here today that are like, forget Mark, we're here for Folklore and Flourish. I got you. He's forgotten. Now we're here with the healing and our theme of restoration after enchantment. So we're at the end of week 3 this week with the danger. And I just thought it was a beautiful way to end the danger with the healing and the restoration after all this enchantment that we've been going through. And so we have 4 stories today, and we're going to look at them through Irish, Japanese, Amazonian, and Bantu folklore today. So enjoy these 4 stories on the healing. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1: The Well of Segais, Wisdom that Restores. Within the sacred landscape of Irish mythology, the Well of Segais stands as a profound symbol of healing, restoration, and the renewal of balance after periods of enchantment and turmoil, perfectly aligned with the theme of the healing and the lesson that worlds wound and mend. Located in the other world beneath the shade of the 9 hazel trees, the Well of Segais is revered as the ultimate source of wisdom and regenerative power in Celtic tradition. From its depths flow the 7 sacred rivers of Ireland, carrying its life-giving essence across the land. The hazel trees surrounding the well bear magical nuts that fall into its waters, where they are consumed by the salmon of knowledge, a mystical creature embodying the well's accumulated wisdom. Guardianship of this sacred site is often attributed to the goddess Boan, whose story reflects both the transformative and restorative aspects of the well. In one enduring legend, Boan approaches the forbidden waters, challenging their power and causing the well to surge forth, ultimately forming the River Boyne. Though this act results in personal loss, it simultaneously brings the well's healing influence into the human world, illustrating how transformation and restoration are often intertwined. The well's most celebrated association with healing and renewal emerges in the tale of Fionn Miú Cúil, the legendary hero who gains wisdom through an encounter with the salmon of knowledge. While apprenticed to the poet Finnegas, Fionn is tasked with cooking the sacred salmon, but when he accidentally burns the salmon and places it in his mouth, he absorbs the wisdom of the well. This knowledge grants him not only prophetic insight, but also the capacity to guide and protect his people, symbolizing the restorative power of wisdom and healing both individuals and communities. The Well of Segais thus becomes more than a mythic location. It represents the cyclical nature of injury and renewal, where the wounds of experience give rise to deeper understanding and resilience. Symbolically, the Well of Segais embodies the concept of healing as a return to harmony between the physical and spiritual realms. Water serves as a universal emblem of purification and regeneration, while the hazel trees signify inspiration and poetic insight. The flow of the well into the rivers of Ireland reflects the dissemination of healing throughout the land, suggesting that restoration is not confined to a single moment, but is an ongoing process that nourishes both environment and community. The narrative surrounding Boan and Fionn emphasize that encounters with sacred power often involve transformation, reinforcing the idea that healing is inseparable from growth and change. Culturally, the Well of Segais accompanies a central place in Irish mythological tradition, particularly within the mythological and Fenian cycles. It symbolizes that influenced Irish literature, spirituality, and national identity, representing the enduring connection between wisdom, landscape, and renewal. The Well's association with poetic inspiration also highlights the Celtic belief in the healing capacity of storytelling itself, where the sharing of knowledge fosters communal resilience and continuity. Through these enduring narratives, the Well of Segais continues to inspire reflections on the restorative potential of both nature and human insight. Ultimately, the legend of the Well of Segais affirms that healing arises from the integration of experience, wisdom, and connection to the sacred. By transforming loss into a renewal and dispersing its life-giving waters across the land, the well illustrates that restoration is a dynamic and collective process. In aligning with the theme of April 21st, this story serves as a luminous reminder that while worlds may be wounded, they also possess an innate capacity to mend. The Well of Segais invites us to seek wisdom within our own journeys, recognizing that healing is not merely the absence of pain, but the presence of understanding and harmony. Story 2: Onsen Healing Spirits, Renewal in the Sacred Waters. Across the mist-covered mountains and volcanic landscapes of Japan, natural hot springs known as onsen have long been revered not merely for their physical benefits, but for their profound spiritual and restorative qualities, perfectly aligning with the theme of restoration after enchantment and the lesson that worlds wound and mend. Rooted in Shinto and Buddhist traditions, these geothermal waters are believed to be imbued with kami, sacred spirits that inhabit natural elements and sustain harmony between the human and divine realms. Legends surrounding onsen often describe weary travelers, injured warriors, or grief-stricken individuals who encounter these sacred springs and emerge renewed in body and spirit. One enduring motif tells of animals, such as cranes or monkeys, guiding humans to hidden springs, symbolizing the wisdom of nature and the interconnectedness of all living beings. These narratives emphasize that healing arises when individuals return to a state of balance with the natural world, allowing the restorative presence of the kami to mend both visible and unseen wounds. Historical accounts further reinforce the cultural significance of onsen as centers of communal and spiritual renewal. During Japan's feudal era, samurai sought out these springs to recover from the physical and emotional toll of battle, believing that immersion in the mineral-rich waters could cleanse not only bodily injuries, but also the lingering burdens of conflict. The ritual of bathing itself reflects the Shinto concept, misoji, a purification practice intended to remove spiritual impurities and restore harmony. As individuals enter the tranquil environment of the onsen, surrounded by rising steam and the quiet presence of nature, they symbolically step into a liminal space where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds soften. This transition mirrors the broader mythological theme of healing as a journey from fragmentation towards wholeness. Symbolically, the onsen represents the nurturing embrace of the earth, offering a sanctuary where transformation and renewal can occur. Water, universally associated with purification and regeneration, serves as a conduit through which the kami bestow their blessing. The gentle heat of the spring reflects the life-giving energy of the planet, while the communal aspect of bathing fosters a sense of shared humanity and collective restoration. Unlike dramatic acts of magical healing, the onsen's power lies in its quiet persistence, illustrating that true healing often unfolds gradually through patience, acceptance, and reconnection with the rhythms of nature. This perspective aligns seamlessly with the lesson that while worlds may be wounded, they possess an inner capacity to mend. Culturally, onsen continue to hold a central place in Japanese society, serving as spaces of relaxation, reflection, and spiritual renewal. Many springs are associated with specific legends and are visited as pilgrimage sites, where individuals seek not only physical relief, but also emotional and spiritual solace. The enduring reverence for these sacred waters underscores the Japanese ascetic principle of harmony with nature, emphasizing that healing is achieved through balance rather than conquest. Respectful practices such as cleansing before entering the bath and maintaining a tranquil atmosphere, reflecting the understanding that onsen is a sacred environment, deserving of mindfulness and gratitude. Ultimately, the legends of onsen's healing spirits affirms that restoration is a holistic process encompassing body, mind, and spirit. By inviting individuals to immerse themselves in the nurturing presence of the natural world, these sacred waters symbolize the possibility of renewal after periods of hardship or enchantment. In alignment with the theme of April 21st, the onsen serves as a gentle yet powerful reminder that healing is not merely the repair of what has been broken, but the rediscovery of harmony and connection. Through the quiet guidance of the kami, the wounded world finds its way back to balance, demonstrating that even the deepest scars can give rise to wisdom, resilience, and renewed life. Story 4. Plant Shamans, Voices of the Living Forest. Deep within the vast and breathing expanse of the Amazon rainforest, healing is understood not as a singular act, but as an ongoing dialogue between humanity and the living intelligence of the natural world. A perspective beautifully aligned with the theme of restoration after enchantment, and the lesson that worlds wound and mend. Among numerous indigenous communities of the Peruvian Amazon, including the Shimpibo, Kanibo, Ashaninka, and Quiquela Lamista peoples, shamans, often referred to as curanderos, serve as intermediaries between the physical and spiritual realms, guided by the wisdom of sacred plants believed to possess consciousness and healing agency. These traditions, preserved through generations of oral transmission, emphasize that illness frequently arises from spiritual imbalance, emotional fragmentation, or disconnection from the environment. Healing, therefore, involves restoring harmony through ritual, song, and the respectful engagement with plant allies that communicate insight and transformation. Central to these practices is the ceremonial use of medicinal plants, most notably the sacred brew commonly known as ayahuasca, derived from the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and companion plants. Within ceremonial contexts, shamans invoke protective and restorative energies through karos, sacred healing songs believed to carry the vibrational essence of the plants themselves. Participants often describe visionary experiences in which they encounter symbolic imagery, ancestral presences, or the spirit of the forest, facilitating profound emotional release and spiritual renewal. These encounters are not viewed as escapism, but as opportunities to confront and integrate unresolved wounds, thereby enabling genuine healing. Alongside ayahuasca, a vast pharmacopoeia of plants is employed for specific purposes, including purification, protection, and physical restoration, reflecting the sophisticated ecological knowledge held in Amazonian communities. Symbolically, the figure of the plant shaman represents the restoration of balance between humanity and the natural world. The rainforest is perceived as a sentient entity, a vast network of relationships in which every plant and creature contributes to the well being of the whole. Healing rituals often begin with periods of dietary and spiritual preparation known as dietas, during which apprentices cultivate sensitivity to the subtle energies of the plants. This process underscores a belief that healing is reciprocal. Just as humans seek restoration, they must also approach the forest with humility, respect, and gratitude. The shaman's role is not to dominate these forces, but to listen and facilitate harmony, embodying the understanding that true healing arises from relationship rather than control. Culturally, Amazonian plant medicine traditions continue to play a vital role in the spiritual and social fabric of indigenous communities. These practices are deeply intertwined with cosmology, environmental stewardship, and communal identity. In recent decades, global interest in these healing traditions has grown significantly, making it essential to approach them with cultural sensitivity and respect. Ethical engagement emphasizes the importance of honoring indigenous knowledge systems, supporting community sovereignty, and recognizing that these practices are not merely therapeutic techniques, but integral components of living cultural traditions. Ultimately, the traditions of Amazonian plant shamans affirm that healing is a journey of reconnection to oneself, to community, and to the living earth. By facilitating encounters with the wisdom of the forest, shamans guide individuals through processes of transformation that mend emotional, spiritual, and physical wounds. In alignment with the theme of April 21st, this story illustrates that while worlds may experience fragmentation, they process an inert capacity for renewal when harmony is restored. The voices of the forest remind us that healing is not a return to a previous state, but an evolution towards deeper understanding and balance, where the scars of experience become pathways to wisdom and resilience. Story 4: Forest Medicine Rites, Healing Through Ancestral Wisdom. Within the rich spiritual traditions of Bantu speaking peoples across Central Africa, healing is understood as a sacred process of restoring harmony between the physical, spiritual, and communal realms, beautifully reflecting the theme of restoration after enchantment and the lesson that worlds wound and mend. Among cultures such as the Congo, Luba, and Fang, illness is often perceived not merely as a physical ailment, but as a manifestation of imbalances within the intricate relationships connecting individuals, ancestors, nature, and the spirit world. At the heart of this restorative process stand the Gunga, respected healers and spiritual specialists who serve as mediators between these realms. Through their knowledge of medicinal plants, ritual practices, and ancestral communication, the Nganga guide individuals and communities towards renewed balance and well being. Healing ceremonies frequently take place within the forest, a space regarded as a living sanctuary imbued with spiritual presence and ancestral wisdom. The forest is not simply a physical environment, but a sacred domain where the boundaries between worlds become permeable, allowing for communication with guiding spirits. During these rites, the Nganga may prepare herbal remedies derived from roots, leaves, and barks, each selected for its symbolic and medicinal properties. Ritual elements such as drumming, chanting, and dance create a rhythmic environment that facilitates spiritual alignment and communal participation. These practices serve to cleanse negative influences, reaffirm social bounds, and invite ancestral blessings, emphasizing that healing is inherently collective rather than solely individual. Symbolically, Bantu forest medicine rites represent the restoration of interconnectedness. The act of entering the forest signifies a return to origins, where individuals reconnect with the foundational forces that sustain life. Sacred objects, known as nkisi, are often employed during rituals, serving as vessels for spiritual energy and protection. These objects, carefully prepared and consecrated, embody the presence of ancestral and natural forces, reinforcing the belief that healing arises from collaboration between the seen and unseen worlds. The Nganga's role is not to impose healing, but to facilitate the reestablishment of harmony. guiding participants toward an understanding of their place within the broader web of existence. Culturally, these healing traditions continue to play a vital role in the social and spiritual fabric of Bantu communities. They preserve ecological knowledge, reinforce respect for ancestral lineage, and promote communal resilience in the face of adversity. The emphasis on collective participation highlights the understanding that individual well being is inseparable from the health of the community and environment. In contemporary contexts, these practices coexist with modern medicinal approaches, demonstrating their enduring relevance and adaptability while maintaining deep cultural significance. Ultimately, the forest medicine rites of Bantu speaking peoples affirm that healing is a journey of reconnection and renewal. By engaging with ancestral wisdom and the living intelligence of the natural world, these ceremonies transform wounds into opportunities for growth and understanding. In alignment with the theme of April 21st, this story serves as a powerful reminder that while enchantment and hardship may disrupt harmony, the pathways to restoration remain ever present within the relationships that bind individuals to their communities, ancestors, and environment. Through the guidance of Ganga and the sacred embrace of the forest, the wounded world finds its way back to balance, illustrating that healing is both a personal and collective act of remembrance and renewal. Hey, everybody, welcome back in. Hope you enjoyed those 4 stories. We are here with the healing. I'm glad to see all of you back here again. Mark, if you're here instead of doing your QHHT session, busted. If you're also thinking, why am I wearing your t-shirt? That's none of your beeswax. It's just my way of having you here today while you couldn't be here today. But our lesson today for Folklore and Flourish, day 21, is worlds wound and mend. So different worlds wound us and they also mend us. So while we may not see everything that's on the same physical field as us, it sees us, it influences us, and sometimes it impacts us in a negative or positive way. Today we get to focus on the way that healing is around, not only in our own individual selves, our individual homes, communities, but in the earth itself. So we saw that through our 4 stories today. We started with an Irish story we've heard before, the Well of Segais. But this is wisdom that restores. So this is the well that not only has healing properties, but it also has the salmon of knowledge within it. So this is the story where we've seen Fionn McCool. He is preparing the salmon for his master, his teacher, and he accidentally burns himself, cuts himself, licks the wound, and gets all that knowledge. So it's not just we have to search it out. It finds us. It gives us what we need, whether we think we need it or not, whether we know we need it or not. And so I love that this wasn't a malice act at all. It wasn't Fionn going and taking the knowledge or acquiring the knowledge under coercion or false pretenses. He did exactly what nature intended him to do, right? So when he had integrity, he had moral standards for himself. He wasn't going to take this. He was preparing it for someone else. Okay, well, here's how destiny and fate kind of get involved. Yes, did he take like his own leadership towards fulfilling his destiny? Did he take his own actions? Yes, 100% he did. Everything led him to that, including having the integrity to not take that salmon for himself. Yes, did he? Yeah, unintentionally. And that's how the world works. Sometimes we go to help others and we go do these things, and then all of a sudden we benefit. And that wasn't the intent at all. That wasn't even something we thought would happen, but the world just works that way sometimes. So with this one though, with the healing of the Well of Segais symbolizes wisdom, poetic inspiration, and the regenerative power of sacred waters, reflecting the Celtic understanding of healing as a process that restores balance between the natural and spiritual worlds. So you see this a lot of wells or water taking us to sacred places, or waters being the doorway to other places. Water, in my mind, is truly the biggest healing element. Thinking about all the different shows, movies, interpretations of using water to heal. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender did a perfect interpretation of that, of how water moves within us. And yes, they have the element of water, but what they're really showing is energy moving, and how energy moves a little bit easier with water, or how we can harness these certain elements to help us better. mean, you see it when in the olden days when people well, I guess not just the olden days, but when people would get hurt, 1883, the show, she gets shot with an arrow, they put her in ice cold water for a little bit to try to help because water holds so many things, even if it is just the temperature of itself. The movement, there's so many ways that it heals. And so it's not just that well that holds those properties, it's water in general. I just think it's so cool. I've been to England and yeah, that's not Ireland, but I've been to England up there and then just how much rain there is in England, Scotland, Ireland, how much water is constantly coming down. It's beautiful. And I was actually telling Mark last night, he was thinking, well, he was saying we're going to Egypt this year. And I just am so excited because I want to go to Scotland and Ireland. So I think we're going to kind of make it a double trip. I know that they aren't super close together, but it's just excited to have these folklore stories, and now we're gonna go over there and have a little more knowledge when we go and be able to experience and appreciate more. But so our next story is the ocean healing spirits. So the renewal and sacred waters in Japan. So these are natural hot springs known as the onsen. So I've heard a lot of different stories about these and how they do have healing properties. They're deeply spiritual places. I heard that you actually can't sit in them if you have tattoos or I think there are a couple other things with on your body that you can't do it because it is so spiritual. And so it's not that, oh, you're a bad person if you have tattoos. It's just your body has been altered, changed. So you're not allowed in those waters. And I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's just what I heard from some people that were there. But it's as we can see in a lot of hot springs and hot tubs, all this stuff that, I'm sure you've been in something like that gives you the physical relief, but it also gives you that emotional and spiritual kind of peace and calm as well. Because when our bodies are being helped, when our bodies are being taken care of, the other aspects of ourselves finally start to kind of fall into alignment. They go, oh, thank you. Thanks for taking care of me. It forces that mindfulness and that gratitude. I have to keep reminding myself to ask Mark. That was one of his big things was wanting to practice gratitude. He does really well on him with himself, and I do really well with myself. But coming together as a couple, as partnership, and saying, hey, these are some things I was really grateful today. And I need to get better at it because I really want to do that more when we've been separated and we come together and, hey, so what are you grateful for today? Yeah, I'm always grateful for when Mark comes home. He's grateful for when he has food, when he gets home. He's grateful for all these things that we constantly have gratitude for, but really focusing on, today, what I'm grateful for is today I got up early and I got to watch the sunrise. I'm a big sunrise person. I love sunsets, but I think everyone can see a sunset, and I think you have to really be intentional about catching the sunrise. I used to only really see the sunrises when I was heavy in my partying days, but now seeing the sunrise and just waking up with it, going out there, sitting and drinking tea or sitting and drinking coffee with Mark on the days he's at home. It's just beautiful. And those are things. Today I got to see the sunrise. I'm grateful for that. Today, all of our animals are happy, healthy, and enjoying the presence of just being around each other. Our cats are getting along better with the dogs. There's so much to be grateful for every day. And I just need to get better at helping Mark with that too at the end of every day. That's something we have as a relationship kind of goal and focus. So, yeah, if you're seeing this and you are, I know you are. So think about what you're grateful for today, and I can't wait to see you later. Those of you that are here watching, though, I would love to see what all of you are grateful for. Or what are you focusing your mindfulness on lately? And like I said, I finished my insanity program. Now I'm working on Pilates. I'm working more on my physical health. And so that's where I'm kind of at right now is my healing with my physical self. I've had so much problems with my shoulders and my spine, like nerves, and I call it my T frame. I don't know what it's called, but that's where I'm healing now. And so, yeah, I use the sauna, I use the hot waters, but there's definitely some peace in knowing that this is something that's been practiced since before we ever recorded it, wrote it down, right? So the heat, the water, just helping us as we're going through this and recognizing that when one thing is hurting, maybe our physical self is hurting because of something spiritually. And again, we have these physical things helping us, these bodies of waters, and then we have people like Mark going out and doing it through the QHHT, or people like me doing it through this podcast where, I mean, even if I just hit one or two people, I mean, it feels good. Feels good just for myself to be able to talk it out. And then now, as we go through the next two stories, we focus a little bit more on the plants. So we know that water moves a lot through plants as well, just like through humans. But we're looking at the different kind of plant aspects. And story three are plant shamans. We've seen some of this before, the Amazonian and Peru specific, well, obviously, you know, Amazonian culture of using especially the ayahuasca plant. And in the past, we've said ayahuasca and other plants. It just means other aspects of the plant. So when we say the aspects that are coming with it, as well as companion plants, a lot of that companion plant is the saging, is the making the space sacred, making the environment healthy for the healing process, healthy for the growing or the breaking, whatever the process may be, where the ayahuasca is the plant that you take. And again, you're doing this through plant shamans, people that understand the way that the plants move, the way that they work, people that understand the properties of all the elements within them and the healing that can be done. In order to go through healing, though, there is a little bit of hurt that we go through. And no, I'm not saying that ayahuasca causes hurt. No, not at all. But I'm saying that when we get to a point where we seriously need help, and I've seen a lot of documentaries more so on it now where people are trying these kind of plant medicines, but ayahuasca, I mean, I'm seeing veterans go down to the Amazon to go practice this with plant shamans, serious people with major PTSD, major physical ailments, things that I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this. I'm going to go back to some ancient remedies. I'm going to try some of this ancient woo woo stuff that people say and see what it does. And I mean, you see some people where no, it didn't do anything, but the majority of them are going, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I opened my mind to this and that I came down and I tried it because it truly is. God's given us all these things. Nature has given us all these things to heal ourselves, to take care of ourselves. We would honestly be foolish not to understand it better. Now, I'm not saying it'd be foolish to not try it. No, I'm saying it'd be foolish not to understand it, not to understand how these cultures are continuing this practice after so long and to go, oh, well, it doesn't work. That's just all this crazy magic stuff. What's wrong with a little bit of magic? I mean, isn't medicine in all aspects just a form of us manipulating and causing that magic? I still think soup is like cauldron brews. So anyways, the cultural significance for the Amazonian plant shamanism is that it symbolizes the interconnectedness of all life and the restorative power of nature, emphasizing healing as a process, reestablishing harmony between the physical, spiritual, and ecological realms. So something interesting I saw last night was different what was I talking about? I think I was talking about like different like alcohol, mushrooms, ayahuasca, marijuana, all these different kind of things, but it was really focused on alcohol and mushrooms, psilocybin stuff. And so it was talking about how alcohol helps us get through life, accept life, whereas mushroom, psilocybin has us question and really understand the interconnectedness. And I'm saying the mushrooms now, knowing that that's very different from ayahuasca, but also not really because these plant medicines, and yes, I'm a plant medicine versus all that other chemical stuff. I used to be heavy into drinking, and I think that those, I mean, medication, all that stuff, I think it's more harmful than good in my experience, my perspective. Then I see these plant medicines that people do and understanding it better and how plant medicine is trying to help us better understand ourselves as well as how we connect with everything, with others, with the environment. And so, where other things, other supplements keep us just tolerating and making it through life, I feel like a lot of this plant medicine, ayahuasca, psilocybin, they connect us back to our roots. And I mean, deeper than what we could even think of. The hypnosis does that too. It's just remarkable what our brains can do once we remind them of where they've been, you know? This is where our energy's been for a long time. We just gotta remind ourselves that, hey, everything we need has been given to us on this earth. It doesn't mean that we won't have to make things or that we have to make everything. It means that there are things on this earth that we really need to understand again. Hey, knowledge has been lost, but knowledge can also be gained. So I admire all those people that are digging up all that stuff and showcasing this. I mean, I love that. But story 4, we're going to go over to Central Africa now with some forest medicine rites. And again, healing through that ancestral wisdom, utilizing what's around us. So these healing ceremonies took place within the forest. Okay, so the living sanctuary, right? Forests we've seen in previous days where forests are scary. They invite you in, they trick you, they manipulate you, they play games with your mind. That's because they are sacred places. So that same place that we might get scared, eerie feeling of, that's also a seriously major healing place. So this one is the Bantu forest rites. They represent the restoration of interconnectedness. So just like how the last one, the plant shamans, the plant medicine, reconnects us with everything, how everything is connected, this one symbolizes the restoration of harmony between individuals, ancestors, and the natural world. So, emphasizing your communal responsibility, ecological knowledge, and the enduring presence of ancestral guidance. So, not just the connection of it, but the continued process. So, I truly believe that the plant shamans in the Amazon and then the Bantu forest medicine rites over in Central Africa, I think they're doing very similar things, if not the same thing. They're just doing it with their environment, their culture, their understanding based on where they are in the world. And it's so cool because, again, now we're seeing how people that are more connected to the earth actually possess a little bit more knowledge, or I guess are wiser, I think, because they use it without harming the environment, without harming everything around us, without needing to burn these chemicals within us. It really is strip away everything else and let's get back to our roots. Let's get back to the people who fought before us to get here. No, that doesn't mean, oh, my great, 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 great ancestor suffered. So that means that the person that made them suffer owes me now all this time later. No, that means they went through what they went through so that we wouldn't have to. Why are we redigging up things that they've already gone through? It's time to move forward and it's time to go, hey, where am I in the balance of everything? Am I someone that has to stand up and fight? Am I someone that has to go and help others heal? Am I someone that's a talker? Am I someone that's a listener? All these different things. And so, yeah, we get to see both the plant, the earth life, and the water today. But I mean, water is the main aspect of all of this. You'll see it through the plants, you'll see it through the ceremonies, all this stuff. Water holds healing. So with that, our daily thread for today is that the Well of Segais flows with wisdom that restores the wounded land. Onsen waters rise in gentle stream, cleansing body and spirit. Forest shamans listen as the living plants sing their remedies. Bantu healers call upon ancestors to mend what has been broken. Each tradition reveals healing as a return to harmony. Each path restores the bond between spirit, nature, and community. Restoration unfolds when wisdom, water, and memory unite. What survives the wound becomes the source of renewal. And so, with that, today, that is our final day for week 3 of the danger. But we had the theme, well, the topic of healing and our theme of restoration after enchantment. Our lesson is that worlds wound, but they also mend. And then the question today is, what did I survive? So we're at the end of our week 3. We're at the end of the danger. And now we can finally look back with a little bit more calm and understanding and relief and go, what did I survive? We've all survived something. We've all survived immense pain, heartache, loss in a number of different ways. We've all suffered. But now we get to look at today and go, what did I survive though? Yeah, okay, I've suffered this, but I survived this. I survived all of that foolishness. Think about that today. And then we are going to touch soil or stones today. We're going to ground our awareness in its weight and texture. So we are going to mess with it, not just touch the top, but we're going to really feel some stones, some rocks, some earth, soil, whatever it may be, and ground our awareness in the weight and texture of it. Beautiful day to be out planting, farming. I need to move my replant my monstera plant this week. It's crazy. I just got one of those giant ones and now I got to figure it out. Now I figured out I can grow my pothos to be giants. I'm excited. Anyways, touch some solar stones today. Bring that awareness to you and then acknowledge endurance as a form of wisdom earned. Acknowledge endurance as a form of wisdom earned. Take that break, take that healing break, and realize that the healing is part of the endurance. It's not go, go, go. And when I take a pause, the endurance is gone. The pause is part of the endurance. We don't last a long time if we neglect to take care of ourselves. And we certainly can't survive if we neglect to ask for help when we truly need it. But with that, today we have ended our week of danger and we are starting our week 4 of the return, our fourth and final week of season 4 of the Fae and Hidden Worlds tomorrow with the return. So enjoy your day today. Be safe. Have a great day out in the sun. And remember to take a second to really heal. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.